What's up, everybody? Jay-Do and Jonah of the Banking Bros here at the Cash Compound. We've got a premium episode for you. You ain't even got to pay extra. Here it comes. Jonah, I just talked about having a premium episode today. They don't even have, it's not about CNN Plus, Disney Plus, Hulu Plus, minus. It's just premium is the word we're talking about today.
Cool. Let's do it. We've got a lot of commonly asked questions about premium. We've got a lot of, actually, you know what? It is a commonly asked question, but it's asked by a specific type of person.
Oh.
Generally, premium questions are going to be asked by the person who has yet to get started,
right,
and needs some clarification around premium. And then at the same time, it's going to be asked by the people who have just started, just to confirm, you know, what's going on in the policy they just got started. So we thought it was a great topic to talk about on this episode, premium, and we're going to walk through a few of those concepts.
That's right. So if you are one of those people who has not yet started an infinite banking concept policy, you're interested and you're inquisitive, there's a lot of chatter around the world out there about what infinite banking is and cash value, cash flow banking, infinity banking. What do these terms mean? How can you use it? And how does it benefit you to build your wealth and finance whatever you want using this? You got to understand premium. So let's jump in. Jonah, I got Investopedia up right now.
All right, one of our favorite sites for
definitions. Just definitions here to help people understand. I don't think you can kind of cheat and see here. So how would you describe it before I get into the definition?
How would I describe premium?
Like in a definition sense, you got to be kind of like,
in a definition.
Got to be kind of like
premium
use jargon.
Are the dollars that the consumer puts into insurance policies? Premium.
Okay, now what does it do? Why would they do that, or what does it do? Like, what do premium dollars do?
Okay, more to the definition. Premium dollars are purchasing the benefit of the insurance.
Yes, you're exactly right. So I'm going to jump in here. I'm looking at the second definition, I think.
Okay.
It's going to be helpful to us. The purchase price of an insurance policy.
Killed it.
All right.
Nailed it. All right. Yep.
Or the regular payments required by an insurer to provide coverage for a defined period of time.
Killed it.
Yep, indeed, sir. So yeah, premium are the dollars that you put in. So I've got the 3 cups set up here in front of us, Jonah, and we're talking premiums here for those of us who can see. We got cup 1, 2, and 3. Which cup do premiums go into?
The premium deposit cup, the first one, the red one. That's where you put your dollars. And according to definition, right? By definition, we just paid for something.
Yep. What do we pay for, and where does that go?
In a life insurance contract, we paid for the insurance, the life insurance portion of the contract, which of course is commonly referred to as the death benefit.
Right.
There are stipulations around what you just paid for, what you just bought. And the stipulation, of course, in life insurance is that the money that you just paid for, just bought, is not going to you. It's going to your beneficiary because the stipulation is you have to be gone.
That's right.
In order to get it.
So
but we paid for it.
Yes, we have paid for it. See, that's what we're doing. And the reason we're going to pay for that is because we are insuring future values. With a loss of a person's life insurance, the value that they were generating to the world because of their work and their efforts is now gone because they're dead. Okay, so we just purchased we insured their value keeps coming. Isn't that great? That is a blessing right there. If you lose this person that you love, or you are not providing for other people that you love, you just ensure that the money keeps coming.
That's right. We made a recent social media video on this, right?
Okay,
where we talked about it's actually possible. I mean, again, depending on your mindset, depending on what you're thinking, to just buy money. Buy money for the next generation, for your family, for your friends, church or charity, like we always say. So sometimes people talk about, it's a very common thread in the world where people talk about, oh, when I started with nothing, or I started at the bottom, or nothing was handed to me, and I want to do better than that for the people that I leave behind. Well, per definition, you can literally just buy it for them.
You can buy them money.
Literally just buy them money.
Right. Now, we hope that you pass on more things like some wisdom, because you're going to give them this money, right? But we always say that that money is guaranteed to your friends, family, church, or charity. The reason we say that is because it can go to anybody you like. You get to define that as the owner. Let's assume that you are the owner of this policy. And so you can have it spread out so all of the value you used to bring these people or entities can continue because they get money when you're gone.
Absolutely. And like you said, I think it's really important that you understand that you've got to give them some wisdom as well. I think everyone who says those things in the world also realizes if you don't teach them a bunch of stuff, then when you give them money, they'll just squander it.
Or you give them anything, right? If I give my kids a new bike, I had a son, my boy turned 6 this month. Yep. And so we give him a new bike. But if I don't teach him how to ride the thing and teach him to look both ways when we cross in the street, because we ride to school in the morning, then I have just given him something that will hurt him. He doesn't understand it, right? He doesn't understand the power. He doesn't understand the speed. He doesn't understand how to control it. Same thing here.
Is that right?
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, yes, once again, we have insured the ability for the value to continue through money of this person and the life insurance policy. That's what premiums do. So, Jonah, we've now defined the terms, but we're really here on this episode to talk about why, what, how much, how often, how does all this stuff work in premiums? It's a good refresher. We've gone here before. We've had a significant podcast episode out there on premiums, Cup 1 before, but I think we got to get back in because we're having some specific questions about, how long should I be paying these premiums? That's a good question.
So really it boils down to our situation we've set up here in front of us. If you paid one premium, is it? They are going to promise you this death benefit for your friends, family, church, or charity, like we just said. Cup 2 is very important to us. The way that we design our policies is that equity value of this death benefit will be given to you so you can use it. You can do things with it. You can spend money, right?
Yeah.
And here's how this is going to work. Some of the equity value is going to be available to you to be able to take out of in cash, right? That's how we design all the policies.
And so for those of you who are not looking at us, he's talking about Cup 2, the cash value, Cup 2, that's always the green cup.
So of course we make most of our content talking about using this money that's in cash value, the equity value, Cup 2. We preface things with, hey, it's possible to put your money here in premium, it'll save, it'll earn, and then spend a bunch of this money, right? We make whole concepts, videos, written books, about that aspect.
Right.
But at the same time, it comes back to, well, what about next year? Do I have to put more money in premium? Should I put more money in premium? Am I locked into the same number I put in last year in premium? If I don't put in premium, what happens, right? We get all of those questions, right?
So let's talk about it. So my question for you, so I want you to explain this, is what type of insurance policy are we putting together? What is required? What is the normal standard about premium, frequency, and the number?
Great question.
Those are two separate questions for sure, but get into it.
Yeah. So we are going to put together whole life insurance policies from mutual companies only that are dividend paying.
Okay.
It's really important. Once we have that type of policy, we also are going to design it, add on the appropriate options that make it work like we're describing to you in this podcast episode and anything else that you've seen us do.
Automatically, we do that.
That's important.
Yep.
Not all whole life and policies are designed the same. Not all companies work the same. You've got to work with somebody who knows what they're doing. Of course, we'd love to work with you, but that's what we're doing here. And so the question you asked is about premium. So just going back to it, once you have that type of policy, we set them up where the premium is ongoing.
Okay.
It's not a single, I put in $100 or $1,000, $10,000, $100,000 once, and I set it and forget it. The reason that we don't do that is because those type of policies, single pay policies, for the most part, end up becoming taxable. And we want you to avoid that. We don't want you to have to pay taxes. So you basically, in this day and age, can't do a single one pay, I'm done, I paid once type of policy. You just can't do it.
Now, normally people don't buy regular insurance that way for regular reasons, meaning protecting some sort of group or entity after you're gone. But for the infinite banking, they think maybe
I agree with you, right?
Can I just put it in one time?
Literally cannot buy your car insurance, give them $100,000 right now, and you never have to pay a bill again. It doesn't matter what car you have, it's covered. You cannot do it. They will not let you do it. Premiums are ongoing. It's the same thing really in life insurance. Premiums are ongoing. Okay.
Yep.
So here's what happens. Because premiums are ongoing, you do have some options and flexibility with your premium deposit. But for the most part, we're going to design a policy working together with you that is a dollar amount that works for your budget, that works for your family, that works for you.
Right.
This is why we always say, listen, you can get started with whatever dollar amount makes sense for you. And I know I'm speaking to you individually, but understand when we're working with somebody, that number can be different for everybody.
Everybody.
Right? I can talk to mom and she might say $10,000 makes sense for me.
Yep.
And then I can talk to Bill Gates' nephew tomorrow and he says $1 million makes sense for me. Right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Two totally different numbers.
Right.
But it's what makes sense for you. Now, common questions. So let me go back.
Okay.
So if that's the number that you chose, $5,000 a year, that's what I want to put in. That doesn't mean you have to pay $5,000 every single year on the date that it's due. It just means that over the course of the year, $5,000 is what you're going to put in.
All right.
So pay it monthly. Pay it quarterly.
So that would be, so you're saying that $5,000, this is a lot of people get hung up on this. Maybe it's the wording that we're saying, or people are just not paying attention.
Sure.
But $5,000 a year, ladies and gentlemen, is the same thing as $416 a month. You get to pick the mode of premium as well, just like your car insurance. You might pay that car insurance annually or monthly. State Farm or whoever, don't care. You can change it.
You still paid it.
It's still $5,000, right?
It's still
okay.
The same.
So you get to pick that amount if, when your policy starts, you'd like to change from $100,000 per year to a monthly payment. You can totally pay that $8,000 a month. You can change it. They don't care. It's totally fine. Okay.
It's going to be the same number at the end of the year,
yeah.
right? So one of the other common questions we get is, well, what if I don't have, I started at $10,000 a year. I paid it for the first year, second year, third year, however how long you paid it.
Okay.
And now I don't have it. I'll let you take over this one.
All right.
Now
so for this one, so everyone asks us this prior to starting, right? There's a lot of people who have that question in their mind, even if they don't ask, how do I keep this premium ongoing? Now, number one, we're talking about utilizing this system as a cash depository. So you can put money here. It's going to be safe. It's going to be growing for you, and you can get to cash value anytime you need cash value for anything you want. So depositories take whatever you put in them. So if you don't think, before you start, if you don't think you're going to have that number again next year, don't tell us to set it up that way.
Right.
So the insurance company will expect you to put in the number you asked for. Some people, I got to stop for a second and tell my people out there, we love you, but you are the one asking for these numbers.
Right.
If you don't think you're going to have it next year, don't say that number.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, right?
Yeah.
If you're literally thinking in your mind, I've got 10,000 now, but I don't know what I'm going to have next year, don't tell us to start a policy for 10,000.
Because these are ongoing premiums.
Or tell us that. And we'll tell you, don't start the policy at 10,000. You're not sure, right? But at the same time, there is a solution if you expected to have the money and then something happened and you don't. There is a solution where you can lower the amount of premium that you're putting in and keep your policy ongoing. So don't think it's the end of the world.
Yes.
If that happens. But at the same time, just, I don't know how to say it with being nice, right? Don't be goofy. If you have $100,000 to your name, don't ask for a $100,000 policy. The premiums are ongoing. How are you going to be able to afford that next year?
Right. That would not be our fault, and it would not be the insurance company's fault.
Right. Or say that to us, and we'll tell you, hey, don't do $100,000, man. You should do
something else.
Yeah, you should do something else. Do 30, do 40, do something else. You don't have that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But again, if you expected to have the 100,000 and something happened where you didn't have it, we could adjust. We could work with you. That's okay. So there's a little bit of a difference there, but yeah.
So what Jonah is saying there is flexibility in the premium amount. All right. But the insurance company is not changing your premium. Okay. The premiums are fixed in whole life insurance of this sort. So the premiums are ongoing. They do not change. It does not matter what Vladimir Putin does. If he declares war on U.S., which is apparently inevitable.
I don't know.
As of this morning, I don't know. But it does not matter what Vladimir, whatever his last name is, head of state or whatever that guy is who's in charge of Ukraine, doesn't matter what he does, doesn't matter what Elon Musk tweets, it doesn't matter if he buys Twitter, the premiums will not change, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, remember, the premiums do not go up over the course of your life. There is other types of insurance out there being touted as infinite banking policies where premiums will go up, maybe down, but they will go up over the course of your life. That's not what we're talking about. Okay, so we want you to know that these premiums are ongoing. We're going to keep putting these dollars in here. The death benefits and the cash values, the equities of the death benefit, will continue to rise, ladies and gents, over the course of your whole life. These dollars will keep going up and is up and is up and is up. Okay, so we want you to keep putting those dollars in there, and do know that that affects what happens over here in the two cups, the green and blue cup that the insurance company takes care of for you.
Absolutely. All right. We'll take a short break. We want to introduce our fan follow of the week. Our fan follow this week is coming to us from YouTube. Again, it is Matt M36. Matt M36, what's up? Thanks for following. Thanks for watching. We're having an episode right now about premium, and we've actually gotten a few comments on some of the social media videos that we've put out about premium.
Right.
I think you've got a comment that you want to read for us this week, and then we'll jump back into our talk.
Okay, here we go. Comment of the week. I've got a Justin something. It's tough. I say it all the time. It's tough to be able to pronounce everybody's names or maybe their handles.
Are tough too.
Yeah, usernames, handles. I'm not exactly sure, right? Justin says, you're doing a great job of getting people involved in IBC, the infinite banking concept, IBC, by making things fun. This stuff is extremely important. Well, thank you for that. That's one of the core values of our proposition we wanted to put together. We've got this mission of cracking the code to cash flow, getting you being able to use money, not just lock it up, not just put it at risk, not give it over to someone else and their control. But we said, let's help people understand the concept and not always just tell them a bunch of numbers.
That's right.
Let's help them understand the concept. So the red, green, and blue cups is part of the concept. And Justin was specifically following us on the IG, Instagram, at the Couch Compound, where I put up a funny-ish type of video because you got these things where you can kind of overdub what other people are doing. So we got the one out there that he commented on just yesterday as of this recording, and it was the one all about candles. So appreciate you, Justin.
Go watch it if you haven't yet.
All right,
back to premium. Got another question for you. Okay. People ask us a lot, what if I come into more money? Like, what if I started with 10,000, but next year I have 20 or 15 or 50? Can I put it in my policy?
That's a great question. So number one, I'm going to give you the easy answer first so you feel like it's covered, and then I'm going to explain it and I'll qualify it. They taught me that in mock trial in college. Okay. Say yes, say no, and then qualify. Okay, so the answer to that is yes and no. Now I'll qualify. So here we go. So yes, you have room to be able to put in some extra money, but it's not maybe as much as you think. Okay, so if you come into more money and you realize, look, I want as many dollars as possible to my name to be growing and compounding in premium and guaranteeing me all these great benefits that I can use today and will have later, then you're going to need to exercise getting a new policy to make sure you can fit all of your funds inside these things. Because I like to go back, Jonah, to help people understand this is a machine that generates cash that you ordered. Okay, you've ordered this thing, and you've ordered it to have certain features and functions. Yep. One of those things, the main thing really, other than having a living body, is you've said, how much and how can you do and what will you grow for me if I put this specific number in? That's how it was built. So it needs these numbers to operate in the way that is outlined in the contract paperwork, aka policy. So that's a contract. It's all the things, 30 pages of what they have to do for you if you give them this number. So if you ask them, hey, or want them to get, you want to put in 10 times this number. Oh, well, this policy is not big enough to handle those numbers. Just need a new policy. So if that blew your mind, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to say it a little more clearly to you. Yes, you can have multiple policies. You don't have to have just one. You can get more. All right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. Honestly, I think that about wraps up our episode on premium for the day. If you have premium questions, please ask them. You can ask them on YouTube. You can ask them on Instagram, on TikTok. Send us an email. Follow us at or go to our website, thecashcompound.com. There's a question and answer, a comment box on the bottom of the page. Ask the questions. We want to be able to answer them for you. And if you're watching and haven't got started with your own infinite banking policy yet, give us a call. We would love to help you get started.